Hello! My goodness, it has been a while. It is a beautiful evening here in Sligo, my home in the northwest of Ireland. Because I am home. This is what Sligo is all about. Tractors and unbeatable scenery, in my opinion. That's Knocknarea with a megalithic cairn on top. Some gorgeous swans. And then just over the tree line you can see the top of Ben Bulben, the iconic Ben Bulben. Not too bad, a dry evening for once. A rare dry evening here in the northwest. So yes, I am back in Ireland briefly, but since I am back in Ireland, I'd like to share something I'm very excited about. A new ambassador, a new face for Irish motorcycling, which is needed in my opinion. But before I do that, I'll just give a quick explanation as to my absence, because yes, I did sort of drop off the face of the map there for a while. Thank you to everyone who sent messages. Yes, I am perfectly fine. I'm here on the Bonnie. She's doing mighty. Welcome to everyone who is new. The last video, which I put out 6 weeks ago now. Oh damn it, I've lost the little screw thing from my action camera. 1 second. Got it. So yes, as I was saying, welcome to everyone who is new here on the channel, because that last video I did on my GS, it's doing really well. So hi, you're very welcome. I'm sorry you kind of joined the channel, joined the community at a bit of an awkward point, because like I say, I did sort of drop off the face of the earth there without any updates. That doesn't usually happen. Usually I try and keep a pretty, good upload schedule. But so yeah, the last 6 weeks I released that GS video when I was in Azerbaijan. I shot it when I was in Georgia, and the reason why videos stopped after Azerbaijan is because I had to leave my motorbike in Georgia, because Azerbaijan has closed borders, and as such you can't actually bring your motorbike or any vehicle into Azerbaijan over the borders. You have to fly in. So I was kind of stuck in Baku, because my intention was to rent a motorbike, but that turned out to be impossible. You cannot rent a motorbike anywhere in Azerbaijan. So I had to spend 2 weeks in a hostel in Baku, and of course I got sick staying in that hostel, and yeah, just one thing led to another. The end of that whole leg of the trip, unfortunately, kind of just didn't end on a high point. I had a good time in Azerbaijan, in Baku, for the time that I wasn't sick. I did enjoy it. It's a fantastic city. So I shot the GS video in Georgia. I shot other videos in Georgia, but unfortunately they just didn't work out, which is why they've never seen the light of day. However, all that footage that I shot on the entire expedition from Athens to Azerbaijan, that will be released one day, but not anytime soon, and not in a serialized version on YouTube. The reason being, I'm working on the most ambitious and time-consuming project for unOrdinaryWorld that I've ever done, and it's taking a lot of time. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Maybe by Christmas, maybe there'll be something to show by Christmas. So yes, but I think it will be worth it. It's something I've toyed with the idea of doing for a long time. I don't really know what I'm doing, but that's nothing new. Oh, what a fantastic evening. Anyway, yeah, I think it'll be worth it. I think so. I hope so. And whilst I'm not doing that, I'm just working. So yeah, I left Azerbaijan at the end of June. July I had work in Italy. I took a few days to go on holiday with a girl I'm seeing and see my family, and then I'm back in Ireland now for 10 days before I head back to Georgia. Not to continue the trip, however, because my vague idea was to continue through Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and do a sort of loop of the Middle East on the GS. However, I'm not going to do that because I got a work opportunity in November that I just couldn't turn down. It's just too good. So I'm going to spin back to Georgia, fly back to Georgia, spin back to Ireland on the GS with a stop off in Croatia for work. And I thought those were my neighbours, they're not. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'll record that for YouTube because it will just be driving. It's not going to be a tour, unfortunately. I've just got to get the GS back into Europe. Excuse me. I've still got a lingering cough from Baku, the Baku bug. So yeah, like I say, a bit of an awkward time for everyone who's just joined the channel because uploads are going to be haphazard for the next while because I'm busy trying to earn money. I'm busy with the project, and yeah, but look, who knows? YouTube was never the priority. It was always just to kickstart my skill set as a filmmaker and I don't know, content creation. I hate that word, but anyway. So yeah, anyway, we're nearly home and I'm just going to get back to the house, make a cup of tea or have a whiskey, and let me tell you all about this news, this really exciting news. The new face of Irish motorcycling, the new hero of Irish motorcycling, which I think we desperately need. And yes, it's good news. So, spin off home and let's have a cup of tea. Alright, cup of coffee. I'm not much of a tea drinker. Every now and then it's fine, but no, coffee's my go-to. Even though it is nearly 7 in the evening. Yeah. I've got stuff to do after this, so a bit of caffeine ain't gonna go amiss. Okay, the new hero of Irish motorcycling. Well, let me just preface this by saying I think it's necessary. I could make a very separate video on this and rant away for an hour. I'm not going to. But I've ridden in many countries around the world, many, and I have to say Ireland is not a great country to be a biker in. It's not that it's a hostility towards bikers, it's more of a sort of a negative indifference, which kind of leads to a general lack of awareness, both conceptually and I mean very literally on the road, lack of awareness. Our roads in Ireland are not good. Bikes make up a tiny percentage of road users in Ireland because, yeah, just we don't have the same biking culture that they have just across the water in the UK. You've got such a fantastic heritage of British motorbikes and British motorcycling. In Ireland, none of that. I think probably historically motorbikes were kind of portrayed here as a sort of a poor man's means of getting around. Cars were always the showcase of prestige, wealth, and I suppose convenience as well. And given Irish weather, motorbikes are not a practical option. So yeah, in general with motorbikes, if you see a biker, they're doing it because they absolutely love it. They could be driving a car, but they choose to ride a motorbike. That is doubly so in Ireland, where it rains all the time, where our roads are kind of just shit, to be honest. And yeah, we just don't have a great, again, it's not that there's a hostility in the general public towards motorbikes and bikers in Ireland. So we could do with a hero. We need a hero to sort of put a new face on the Irish motorbiking community, because we are small, we're sort of ignored. Awareness of bikes, how we use the road, what we're legally allowed to do on the road is lacking, even amongst the police force here. I've run into cops who think something is breaking the law when it isn't. Anyway, so who is our hero? Well, it's this guy. Yes, this is a book. Now, I am not a book reviewer. I don't know how to do it. I just read the book and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it is, but I also think that this is a fantastic opportunity to put motorbiking back into the public eye in Ireland for a bit. This is From Tip to Top by Peter Murtagh. Peter Murtagh is a journalist, retired, and this book is about his expedition from Tierra del Fuego on the very south tip of Argentina, all the way up through the Americas towards and into Alaska, into the Arctic Circle, towards and to Dead Horse, the most northerly point you can get to. It's a very well-traveled road. Everyone does it, nothing special about it. I suppose the big selling point for Peter is that he celebrated his 70th birthday whilst on the trip. Now, you know, I'm not one to say, oh, just because you're 70, it's a big achievement. I think if you're lucky enough to be fit and capable in 70, there's no reason why you should not do something. So, yeah, but that's a 1200 GSA. I mean, that's a big, heavy bike. And yeah, as he says, he's lucky enough to be fit and healthy. Although, as he says, he does feel his body isn't what it was in his 20s, shall we say. And that's a heavy bike to pick up, especially if you're off-roading it. So, fair play, Peter. Anyway, what's the book about? And this is why I'm very happy to recommend it, because it's not just a travel book. It's not just, I went here, I met such and such, here's what I saw, and then I kept going. Peter is a journalist, and he's an Irish journalist. And I think anyone who is lucky enough to be in Peter's position, where they can do what I'm lucky enough to do, to travel and sort of convey what we see to an audience, we sort of have an obligation not just to, you know, have the camera on us. We have an obligation to turn the camera around and to show what we see, or in Peter's case, to write about what he sees. I think I say this particularly as Irish people, we have an obligation to do that. I think we're well positioned within, you know, coming from the society that we share here in Ireland, our geopolitical situation, and also just our general domestic politics and societal development means that we can go out into the world with empathy and with sort of an unbiased eye towards social issues, and I think a critical eye towards what we see as anything resembling imperialism. We have a bit of a touchy history with that. And I'm happy to say that Peter does this. He goes out into South America, and he does not hold back on what he sees. He talks about the poverty that he sees. He talks about the political situation in various areas that he travels through. He does this in the United States as well. I was kind of worried that when he gets to the United States that the sort of impetus of the trip would just kind of drop off, because it's the United States, how hard could it be? And yeah, sure, the traveling wasn't exactly difficult in the United States, but his observations on North American society and politics are very poignant, given the timing that it's set in. I would have liked to also to have more description of the roads and of the actual biking. But I realised that, of course, the fantastic thing about this book is it can be read by anyone, not just a biker. But as a biker, whilst I was digging, you know, the actual journalistic side, every now and then I was kind of like, well, what's the road conditions like? What are the drivers like? What's the weather like? I would have liked to have a little bit more of that. But as I say, I cannot commend him highly enough for essentially doing his job. He's a journalist, and this is a book written by a journalist. Highlights. Okay, there was a few particularly engaging moments, comedic moments as well, but engaging moments when he was riding through Peru, and he was encountering all the roadblocks and the protests due to the political upheaval he was there, I think, start of 2023. And he kind of recounts his experiences being stopped by the protesters, burning tires and going through these towns of, just turmoil. And as has been my experience, he says how just being Irish and being friendly and just chilled out, that's a sort of passport in and of itself. So it was cool to see that reflected here, because of course I haven't driven through any politically unstable areas yet, but gives me hope, gives me confidence. And in the United States, where he very delicately but honestly deals with the issues of populist politics and guns. One particular comedic moment is when he runs into some women in a shop somewhere in, I think, Texas, maybe it was Arizona, and he gets talking to them and they find out he's Irish, and of course, like every American, oh my god, you're Irish, I'm Irish too, we really want to go to Ireland. And he kind of naively says, oh, well, your president was just in Ireland a few days ago, and apparently wrong president. Apparently the tables turned very quickly as soon as they mentioned Biden. I think the most commendable aspect of his entire trip was documenting migrants from South America into the United States at various milestones and migrant checkpoints. I was crossing the Darien Gap. Yeah, he meets some people who have particularly harrowing and emotional stories, which, like I say, yes, he's a journalist, he's an Irish journalist, he has an obligation to tell these stories, and I'm happy he did, which is the reason why I'm happy to talk about this book. It's not just, as I said, a travel blog. And I like how he's not shy about talking about his run-ins with the law, both with corrupt officers in various Central American countries and with very diligent officers in North America who just kind of caught him doing things he shouldn't have been doing. Now, when I say things that he shouldn't have been doing, I mean things that we bikers do all the time, because that's just how we use the roads. So long as it's safe, it's not really an issue. And most of the time, nobody's going to pay any attention because, yeah, it's just, why wouldn't you? It's common sense. But a lot of things that I think would be common sense are not actually legal in North America, such as filtering and seemingly very slow speed limits, things like this. So I like that he's honest about saying, yeah, I rode a bike, here's how I rode it, it's not legal, and I got caught, end of story, no big deal. Yeah, all in all, solid book, and I don't know, I've never met the guy, but I was really excited when my dad brought this home one evening. He said, here's a book for you. I looked at the picture, I was like, oh, and then I saw the name, it was Peter Murtagh. I could not believe that there was, yeah, an Irish adventure writer out there, and an Irish adventure writer that wrote a book at that. The new face of Irish motorcycling, I think. I think if he was so inclined, he could do some good work in, you know, putting us Irish bikers back on the map. And with that, yeah, highly recommend it, particularly here in Ireland. I don't know if you can buy it in bookshops outside of Ireland. I don't think so, but I don't see why you wouldn't be able to buy it online. Highly recommend it. A great read, very casually written, very easy writing, easy reading, but it suits the story that he's telling. Yeah, so all in all, thumbs up from me. Whew, never done a book review before, but there you go. Anyway, that's it. This was just a quick check-in to say hello and thank you to everyone who's come around recently. As I say, apologies that the uploads are coming slowly these days. I'm just very busy, and yeah, we'll see. There might be some videos from the trip back from Georgia. I haven't ridden in the Balkans before. On this, when I was heading east, I took the ferry across the Mediterranean countries. I didn't go inland or overland there. So yeah, from Bulgaria to Croatia, I think it'll be fun. But like I say, it's going to be a lot of riding, very short time frame. We'll see. Anyway, until then, thanks for watching. Drop us a message if you have anything to say. I'm glad everyone is enjoying the GS review. I might do another review soon enough because those seem to do well. The YouTube channel got monetized 6 weeks ago, so after 3 years, I'm finally going to start reclaiming my costs from all of these YouTube videos that I've been doing. out of the goodness of my heart. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to stick this up now, and yeah, have a good evening, have a good week until we see you again. Best of luck.